I know, I haven't posted in a while, but in my defense, I have no defense actually, just a lot of excuses. Anyways, I'm back now, and I have some plans and ideas. But before we get into that, let's talk about the painting I'm making in this video. I was inspired to make this piece after I redid my first artwork that went viral on Instagram, which was in 2022. Oh, that was 3 years ago. Okay, cool. Anyways, so that was my second year doing Inktober, and I did a silly little video for each prompt every day, and that was the first one that got big. And after that one, I had a couple more get a ton of views, and that kind of kickstarted me into getting a bunch of followers on Instagram, which is pretty cool. I had so much fun redrawing that piece that I wanted to repaint another one of my paintings. I wanted to see my progress with watercolors and figure out how my art style and process has kind of changed, and why I kind of stopped making pieces like it. Spoiler alert, my conclusion was that the line art killed my wrist, but that's besides the point. I chose this piece for a couple reasons. My laptop's dying. There we go. Okay. I chose this piece for a couple reasons. Reason number one, I really like this color palette, and maybe this will inspire me to use it more. If you want to copy this color palette, here is it. I found it on Pinterest. So steal away. Number two, it's more simple in terms of sheer detail, unlike this painting or this painting. Hopefully I won't overdo it and make it even more detailed. And number three, I and probably a lot of people really relate to the just dead tiredness of our main character here. And you know how they say your art reflects like your mental state or whatever? My mental state is tired all the time. And of course, starting out with sketching, I'm kind of following my rough draft and sketching it onto the watercolor paper. And while I was looking for references, I realized that office cubicles are normally photographed from one angle, which is not the angle I needed. So I found some 3D models that also didn't help and just made my poor laptop overheat. So in the end, I did what I always do when it comes to perspective, and I guessed. Don't ever ask me for tips on drawing perspective, because I do not know how to explain what I'm doing or how I know what to do. I just slap lines down until it kind of looks right and make sure the other lines match, sort of. And somehow it always turns out good, most of the time. One big thing that's changed about my art process is that, like in my most recent paintings, especially my commissions, I've been either sketching them digitally and then tracing it to transfer it onto the watercolor paper, or taking a picture of my sketch and doing it that way. So it's been a while since I've sketched directly onto the paper. And could I have just done what I usually do? Yeah, but I wanted to challenge myself a bit with this piece and try to get myself back into the headspace of me when I was making art back in 2023. Since I'm so used to being able to fix my sketch digitally before transferring it to the watercolor paper, I forgot how stressful it was to just go at it with only an eraser and some dreams. Coincidentally, I also forgot how well the colored pencil lead that I have erases. So I was able to fix mistakes much easier than I thought, which was awesome. Maybe I'm just being dramatic, but I think it was a good exercise to shake up my usual painting routine. And the sketch turned out pretty good, if I do say so myself. And obviously, as you can see, a lot has changed from the original. I was really worried that I was just going to end up copying the original, like line for line. So I really tried not to look at it too much, just for like general reference of it, like his posture and kind of what his chair looked like and stuff. Biggest difference is we've upgraded him, or I guess downgraded, from an office to a cubicle. There's no way an employee with an office would be depressed. So he's in a cubicle now, and it's way more messy, and he's not looking at squirrels on his laptop. Other than me sketching it directly onto the paper, I really didn't change anything else in my painting process until the very end. So now we're going to switch topics to the plans and ideas I told you about earlier. And I want to talk to you guys, and I want to talk about the kinds of videos I want to make on this channel from now on, because I'm going to start trying to post consistently for the rest of the year. So I really like the old videos I made, don't get me wrong. The cryptid deep dives and the artist studies were so much fun to make, but they took a lot of time because I can't do anything halfway. So I would research, read a ton of different articles on it because I want the whole story. I had to write myself a whole script to keep myself on track. And then of course the painting. The painting was the fun part, but that still takes time. I was also finding it hard to balance like the informational aspect of the videos and the artwork. if I wanted to show like a picture or like a newspaper clipping or something, it was weird to find a spot to put that on the screen where it wouldn't cover up the artwork. I don't know, I was just overcomplicating that part, and that just made the whole process more difficult. So to save myself the trouble of worrying about it and wanting it to be perfect, I'm going to be doing way less of those. I would still like to continue the cryptid painting series I started because that was super fun, and I still have a bunch of ideas for different cryptids I want to do. And I still want to do artist studies because I really liked the Vincent van Gogh one that I did. That one was super fun. Specifically with the artist study ones, if I'm really curious about like an artist's life, maybe I'll dig into it more. But for the most part, I would like to keep those ones focused on the art style specifically, less like their entire life story. Because believe it or not, some artists are really bad people. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. The cryptid paintings probably will be kind of the same, just maybe not with like photo evidence. There's like a cool video, I'll pop it up on screen. Granted, with all that said, there is always a chance I could get super sucked into a specific topic and go down a rabbit hole and make a super deep, informative video. But for the most part, I will try to keep it simple just so I can post consistently. That's the goal here. We want to post consistently. Mainly, I would like to do more art-focused content like this, where I make a piece or sketch, or maybe do like a different kind of craft, maybe sculpt something, and kind of talk through my process or inspiration, or just talk in general if there's a specific topic I've been invested in, something like that. I don't know, I just like making things and talking, and if I can do that and have you guys enjoy it, and also make money, then that's like the dream for me. So I've got video ideas that actually I should write down before I forget them. Anyways, I've got video ideas, like I want to paint on some Pokemon cards. I recently found out about full art Pokemon cards because I've been living under a rock, apparently. And it spiraled me into obsessively watching pack openings on TikTok and crying because the packs are so expensive, and I just have to be responsible with my money. It's a curse. Anyways, so I've been on a Pokemon kick recently, so expect some Pokemon content soon. See, this is a perfect example of why I have a script, because even with a script, I got super off track. But the point is, my content's gonna change, but there's gonna be more of it, so it's a good thing. It's a good change. I'm gonna aim low and say I'll post a video every 2 weeks, but in secret, I'll aim for every week. So if you want to see more longer form content from me, be sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Now with that out of the way, let's get back to talking about the painting, which is looking super cute so far, and all that's left is the line art, which is my greatest challenge yet because for a long time I've been using a brown colored pencil to line my paintings, but the original piece had black line art, and I couldn't decide which I would like better, so I did something I've never done before and made a mini painting to test out line art colors. Usually I just wing it and hope it looks good, but I'm not risking it with this piece. My thinking is that this painting is very cool toned, and the brown I have is very warm toned, and so I'm worried it will clash. I also have a blue colored pencil I want to test out. It will look good with the cooler colors, but I'm worried it's too bright to go with the warm ones. And I'm very glad I did this little test piece before lining the painting, because the blue was too bright and looks terrible, so I just went with black line art like the original. The brown did look good, but there's just so little red in this piece that I just didn't think it would look good overall. Thankfully, these markers weren't dried out because it's been forever since I used them. And at this point, I was starting to regret adding so many sticky notes. I wish I could go back in time and slap myself before I painted all of those little squares, but at least it looks good, so. Other than that, the line art went smoothly. The decision to add detail to the carpet was another painful but worth it choice because it looks very nice. Now, comparing this painting to the original, I can't tell which one I like better. The new one is more detailed and shows how much my skills have improved in the last few years, but the old one is so much more vibrant, and I like the hatching detail that I added on the mouse pad and the chair. I went through a phase with my artwork where I just added hatching to everything, and I can't remember if I would use a ruler or not. Speaking of rulers, I didn't use a ruler for any of the straight lines in this piece. One, because I was too lazy to. I feel like it looks nicer with the messy lines. It kind of adds like an extra layer of detail. One thing I would want to change about this piece is I should have made the darker color before I did line art, but it dried lighter overnight after I painted it, and I was just so distracted by my line art color debacle that I didn't even notice. Another detail that I'm only just now realizing I forgot was the mouse. I remember I was going to tangle up the cords and stuff, but it looks fine without a mouse. Anyways, this has been me redrawing a painting I did 3 years ago. I can't tell if it's more crazy how much time has passed or how little time has passed. Like, for some reason in my head, it was been like 5 years since I've painted this piece. But no, only 3. This painting's only 3 years old. Which one do you like better, the old one or the new one? I'm not even gonna ask if you think I've improved at all, because I feel like that much is obvious. But which do you prefer? And should I do another one of these? Because this was super fun to do, and I have even older artwork that's like actually really old that I could redo that would be kind of fun. And also, I get a little ego boost, so it's a win-win for me, honestly. Enough bragging, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye bye!